Hi y'all, today we are doing a full face of Wet n Wild makeup, or at least an almost full face. I think I only used maybe two things that weren't Wet n Wild, so really fun, really excited. I'm starting with this primer base. They have a couple different versions of this one. I've also tried the brightening one. I really like that one. It's kind of just like this nice serum primer that hydrates, gives you a nice base. It's not tacky, but it is actually a really nice primer before makeup just to kind of hydrate the skin, prep it really nicely for makeup, and let everything last a lot longer. And then I'm using the 24-hour setting spray. I hadn't seen this one before, so this is like the one thing that I picked up for this video, and everything else I've already had and I love. So now after I spray my face and it is nice and dry and prepped and primed, we're ready to go, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Moisture Tint. They do have some more fuller coverage foundations, although this tint actually has a decent, I think it starts out at like medium and then you can build it up to like a high medium coverage, which I really like. I have dry skin, so I love the moisture. And they do have two other foundations that are supposed to be fuller coverage, but I just really prefer this one over both of their other foundations. I really, really enjoy this moisture tint. So yeah, I'm just going to put some pea-sized dots on the face and blend this all out with a damp beauty blender. Also, I will say that as far as tinted moisturizers go, this one lasts really, really well. I don't usually expect too long of lasting time with a tinted moisturizer just because, they're just very I don't want to say liquidy usually, but things that have more moisture to them tend to just break up a lot faster on the face. And as far as tinted moisturizers go, this one lasts very, very well. So one of the things that I'm using here that isn't Wet n Wild is the e.l.f. corrector. I just always have to use a peach corrector under the eye. So I just used e.l.f. so at least it's in the same price range and you can buy it at the same stores. And then I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Incognito concealer, which I use all the time. Like I think I use the Wet n Wild Incognito almost every single time I do my makeup. It's so freaking good. And this, I have it in a couple different shades. Today, I'm not using the brighter shade. I'm using something closer to my skin tone. That's how much I love it. I have it in multiple shades. Something else I have multiples of is also these contour and blush sticks that they have. They also have highlighters and concealers in these sticks, and they are so awesome. They're so creamy, and you've also seen me use these bronzer sticks a million times. Probably I have a more bronzer shade for me, and then I have a darker, cooler toned one just to add a little bit more of that cool tone contour shade. And then I just go in and blend this all together while my concealer sits and kind of sets a little bit so it can be at its maximum full coverageness. These contour sticks just blend like an absolute dream. They're so good. I love them. And also, y'all have seen me use these so many times, and I'm still not running out of them yet. Like a little bit really does go a long way. You guys know I love my bronzer helmet, so don't come for me for that. But a little bit does go a long way, and I really, really like these. So once that is all blended out, then I start to blend my concealer, and I try to just keep it right under the eye. I don't like to drag out my concealer too far towards my temple. I just don't think that it really fits my face shape, so I'm just going to keep it right under the eye. And then once all that concealer is blended out, I'm going to use a blush stick. These are super duper glowy. I have a more pink shade and a more orangey tone coral shade, which is what I'm using today. We end up having a nice warm orangey camel monochromatic look going on at the end of this video, which just turned out so freaking pretty. And I just love these blushes. Like I said, they have some nice glow to them. They're gorgeously pigmented, and just like the bronzer sticks, they're super, super creamy and blendable, and a little bit goes a long way. I mean, just look at that color. It's so pretty. And I love this type of orange corally shade for the summer. I just love an orange, super bronzy, glowy look. It's absolutely stunning. Then of course, once that all is all blended out, looking just gorgeous, and I'm admiring myself in the mirror, I have to set all my creams. Like I say in a lot of videos, the key to longevity is using your setting spray throughout every single layer. So I'm just going to use the setting spray on my creams now. There are so many eyeshadow palettes to choose from. These color icon palettes are so good. I have the shade Lights Out. I used this in a video very recently, so I'm going to tag this video that I use this down below. And also, this is a close second to my all-time favorite Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, which is the Always Naked palette. As you can see, I have almost hit pan on some of these colors. Like, it is, yeah, I freaking love this thing. I love the range of colors. I love the shimmers. This is so freaking gorgeous though too. I used to, a long time ago, I used to do 3 looks, 1 eyeshadow palette. Like, I had this whole series of eyeshadow look videos. So if you want me to do a 3 looks with just this 1 eyeshadow palette video, I would be more than happy to do that. Just let me know down below if you even want that. But today I'm gonna use my all-time favorite Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette, the Always Naked palette. And they also have this same setup, but in more rosy, purpley tones, and it's called Always Rosy, if you prefer that type of colorway over this. Sorry, I never know where to look because my camera's right here, my mirror's right here. I don't know, sorry. Yeah, if you prefer like more rosy, purpley tones, they have an Always Rosy in this little setup here. So for this eyeshadow look, I'm basically just starting with all of the warmer toned camel-y colors in this palette, and I'm just warming up the crease here, and then I'm just going to work my way darker and darker and darker in the crease and the outer corner of the eye. And then I will also take that really nice dark warm color, not the black, the one right next to it, and also kind of smudge that along the lash line and into that outer V, and just kind of go back and forth between all the colors and just slowly build things up until I feel like they're to my likeness, to the depth that I want, the smokiness that I want. I recently did kind of like my go-to makeup and eyeshadow look, and I go like really in depth, and I used the Natasha Denona Face palette and the eyeshadows in there, and I'm basically doing the same exact technique and getting the same exact eyeshadow look with this, what, $8 or $12 eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild, and it just looks so stunningly gorgeous, and you can literally get the same exact look that I did in that video. So if you watch that video and you're like, well, I don't have the Natasha Denona Glam Face palette. Like I say in a lot of my videos, you don't need expensive stuff, or you don't need exactly what I use to get these same looks. Just look through your collection or get a $12 eyeshadow palette like this awesome Wet n Wild one, and you can achieve the same exact look. So here like I said, I'm kind of taking that darkest color and smudging that along the lash line. Then I kind of work it into that outer V after I get the crease kind of to the depth that I want, and then I'm just going to blend that out and start going in with some shimmers. I'm using the more goldy champagne all over the lid, and then in the very inner corner, after I put some powder foundation in my like kind of inner socket there. If you see a lot of my eyeshadow looks, you know that I just like to do that for my eye shape. You might not have to do that for yourself. I have quite deep set eyes, so I like to put a powder foundation in that kind of inner corner socket just to make sure there's no blue shining through or poking through and messing up the vibe, and that it's nice and bright in there. And once I get that nice and bright and covered like I'm doing right now, I'm going to go in with this gorgeous, gorgeous pearly white, super shimmery color in this palette. It is absolutely dazzling, stunning. This will catch the light like you wouldn't even believe. If you love that nice bright sparkle on the eye, on the eyelid, or just the inner corner, this is the eyeshadow for you. You can literally catch the light if there's one little candle in the room. This thing is dazzling. And I'm also going to throw that on the brow bone as well. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And just look how that eyeshadow is coming together. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. These warm tones are beautiful, and these are so blendable and so pigmented. This is such a good palette. This is obviously why this is my favorite palette, eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild. Now I am just powdering my face like I normally would using the Essence 16 Hour Wear Powder Foundation, and I just kind of lightly set everything, and I don't really dust away that big. Oh, I completely forgot to say I use the Wet n Wild loose powder underneath my eyes literally every single time that I do my makeup, unless I'm doing a pink under eye. So yeah, I did bake under my eyes with that while I was doing my eyeshadow, and I just kind of let the rest of the face air dry, and then I will go and kind of dust everything away, and I almost just pat in that powder. I don't really dust it away. I kind of just push it into my skin so everything's perfectly set. Okay, so I don't have a bronzer because the only bronzers that Wet n Wild has out right now are shimmery bronzers. And I didn't want to just buy it just for this video and literally never use a shimmery bronzer again. So I'm going to use this Milani matte bronzer that I have. But you guys, also, I don't have any of their highlights anymore. I used to have all of them. I hit pan on every single one that I had. I probably had like 8 at one time, all the different shades that they had. But tell me, you guys, wouldn't you love if they came out with like this packaging with face products in it? Like, please, Wet n Wild, if you're listening, if you took this similar size packaging and put one of those amazing highlights that they have, 2 blushes, like I have some Color Icon single blushes, but I just barely ever buy single products these days. Like, I'm always looking at palettes more than I'm looking at single individual products. You know what I mean? So if they would come out with this type of packaging with like a highlight, 2 blushes, and a bronzer, oh my gosh, those amazing blush formulas and the highlight formulas, and also with a matte bronzer, or like do like a highlight, a blush, a shimmer bronzer, and a matte bronzer. Please, Wet n Wild, if you're listening, please, we need face palettes from y'all. The eyeshadow palettes, they have so many eyeshadow palettes. They have so many eyeshadow palettes. We need some face palettes. I don't know about y'all, but like this is one of the only single pan bronzers that I have. This one from Milani. And these Wet n Wild blushes are like some of the only single pan blushes that I even own. Everything I have is like a multi-use face palette that has all the face products in it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't buy singles anymore. I don't know. I'm just barely gonna put any anyway. I'm not gonna put too much, because honestly, that's already like pigmented enough on its own, and you can even still see the glow from that blush, even though I set everything, so not too much. Blush Mellow Wine, and then I have talked about this before. I can't remember if I made a specific TikTok about it. I think it was. This is the shade Naked Brown. I love this color. This is like something I will literally dust like all over the perimeter of my face. It has like more of a satin, like natural finish, and it's this perfect brown bronze blush in between color, at least on me. It's so freaking pretty. So I'm just gonna kind of dust this like all over my face, basically. Like kind of start, it's almost like that healing sunburn type of color for me. And it has this gorgeous finish. So I'm just gonna kind of tap this just on the back. And then that orangey blush can kind of shine through in the front. Oh yes, baby. Oh yeah, that's freaking beautiful. So pretty. Look at that. I already mentioned this before, but this is the kind of thing that, like, when I'm doing these all one brand videos, I think I mentioned it in like my very last video. When I'm doing these all one brand videos, I'm always thinking about, like, if I could manifest anything, if anything comes of making videos, I would love to partner with brands like this, and not even like change anything really, or like make anything my own, but I would take this stuff that I already love, like this blush, and then I would just make those ideas that I talk about. Like, I would be like, yeah, my collab is gonna be this packaging with this blush and like Mellow Wine and a matte bronzer and one of their incredible like wet highlights. Like, that would be a freaking dream for me. And this is just a nice, this whole look is just coming together nice and monochromatic and bronzy, warm. Like, oh, love that. Love that. And you guys know I've used the Browsessive brow gels for so long. When I have blonde brows, I just use the clear, and then when I have my, oh, this is the clear, goes on white, dries clear, and then when I have my regular colored brows, I use the brown. They do have a micro eyebrow pencil if you prefer that, but I really like this angled one that they have. So I'm just going to fill in my brows with that. And then of course I need to like set my face with the setting spray, and I'm also going to go in with their lip liners. The Wet n Wild lip selection is so iconic as well. Like there's so many lip liners and so many liquid lipsticks to choose from. So you can really have your pick of the litter. I forget what the name of this. I think this might be Lay Down the Mauves lip liner that I'm using, but I'll put all the exact shade names of everything that I use down below. I'm just gonna line my lips, and I just wasn't feeling like the matte lip vibe. So when I was at the store looking for a couple of my missing bits and bobs from Wet n Wild, I noticed these gloss bombs that they have. So I got this peachy gloss balm, and it really is just like a really nice lip balm that is super super glossy, and it smells incredible. So I just lined my lips, and then I'm going to use that gloss balm later on after I do some mascara. I just wanted to make sure I use that setting spray before I use mascara.
This mascara is the only thing that I have that I don't really care for. It's not bad, it's just not like anything really special. It kind of just coats your lashes and makes them black. It doesn't add length or volume or anything. So for those reasons, I kind of use this more on my no makeup days. So I'm gonna go in with something else, but I just wanted to show you guys. Yeah, it just like is very, basic. And there it is. That is the full face of almost, all Wet n Wild. Let me get this makeup out of my hair and I'll go show you guys in daylight. Look at that eyeshadow, you guys. I mean, look at the face. This is a fully set face and it's still glowing. Ugh, love that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I'm going to list all the products that I used in this video down below, as well as my Instagram, my TikTok, and my other YouTube channel if you want to follow me everywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!